So sometimes in my line of work, I get people calling or clients asking what is the difference, especially if they are inquiring like how much my services cost. Sometimes they ask me what is the difference between a tarot card reading and what is the difference between astrology. And so I just wanted to do a little video to explain the difference between the two of them. So tarot card readings are for answering questions. So like I have to kind of, describe my services, and then I'll kind of explain the differences between the two of them. And so a tarot card reading, I start off with a Celtic cross, so it's like a 10-card spread. And basically, tarot cards are for the here and now and what is happening, and they tell past, present, and future. And so they are good. I personally like the tarot cards more and everything, and I use them almost every day. I like them because they're more detailed, and I like them because they can answer like specific questions. So like for specific questions, I do like a 4-card spread, which is like a diamond. So the top shows the situation, the 2 sides are the why, and then the 4th on the bottom is like the outcome. And then I do a simple 3-card spread, pretty self-explanatory, past, present, and future. So I like the tarot cards because you can like pretty much ask like any question that you want, and so they're good for, day to day. Like if you were asking, which car should I buy, you can do a tarot. And if you want to know like something like right now, how is tomorrow gonna go, then you can do a spread, or you can do like a 1-card draw on it. Or you met Damien at Safeway, and you exchange numbers, and what he wanted to know what he thinks of you, then you can do the tarot cards. So I like them because they are show the answers, and they kind of answer like anything that you would ask. So I personally like tarot cards, and I just like them, so that's what tarot cards says. Tarot cards are for answering questions, and then sometimes like what other people ask, because it's more complex. I think that they ask about astrology more, my clients and everything. So astrology, basically, the word astrology means that it tells more about your personality based on the planets at the time that you were born. And so each of the planets, as well as our sun and moon, represent different parts of our, personality and everything. And then, of course, the birth chart is where there's 12 different, houses. So if you could think of like, a chocolate pie or something, if it were, cut into 12 different slices. And each part kind of represents, as you've seen in my videos and stuff, and if you research it, that's what astrology is. And there are different types of charts that you can do with astrology. Like the different charts that I offer is I do like a birth chart, and so that's obviously mostly what people are asking for, and that tells more about your personality based on the time that you were born, the arrangements of the planets. And so each planet has their own sign, and each planet is in, a different part of a different house in your birth chart. And then there's also a composite chart, like a love chart. So like, let's say, you're married and stuff, and you want to see your spouse, and you want to see the ups and downs of the relationship and everything like that. You can do that. And then there's also called a transit chart. So that would indicate, how the planets are moving at the present time, and where, you know, different planets, like for example, in my transit chart right now, Jupiter, so that's the good planet, so that's, you know, where your strengths are. In a year and a half, it's going to be in my 10th house, so the good planet is going to be in my position of career and everything, so I'm looking forward to that, like, you know, in a year and a half, I'm going to be finally where I want to be work-wise. So those are just basically, you know, telling about your life based on the planets. And probably the big difference is that tarot explains the here and now and in the future, the near future. And you can ask, like, you know, as many questions as you want, whereas like a birth chart will tell different things as far as your lifetime. So I think it kind of just depends on what your interest is. But, you know, birth chart can explain, you know, how long that you're going to, you know, live. For example, if you want to know if you are going to have, you know, kids, you look to your 5th house. And then if you want to know if there are any planets in your 8th house, which a lot of people don't have, but if you do, it can tell how you're going to die, since that's the 8th house is the house of, you know, sex and dying. So if you have any planets there, based on which planet is there and which sign it's in, it will tell you the way that you're going to die, and it can tell more about your personality. So I think it all just kind of depends on what you're into. The tarot cards, they can tell like the here and now, and you can ask like detailed and specific questions and yes and no. And I like the widespread because it tells more about the situation. I personally don't like one card draws. I think that they, in my personal opinion, for me, they kind of make things more confusing. I like combinations, and I like doing more than, I like pulling a few cards, at least 3 cards for each question, because in my personal opinion, I think that it makes more sense when you have more details about the question that you're asking instead of just like one card, you know, like that. Whereas astrology is different because you can have the transit chart, the birth chart, and then you can have the love compatibility chart. It's called a synastry chart. So, I mean, it all just kind of depends on what you're into. The thing about the astrological is that you can tell more about your personality, and it's all focused on you. Or, of course, if you wanted to do, you know, a friend or a family member and just see more about their, you know, personality is like, you know, like of course, I did, you know, charts, my own personal, I mean, I didn't do it for them, but I looked up the charts and everything, looked at charts of my family members because I wanted to see more into their personality. And so astrology has to do more with who you are as a person. It's more focused on you, yourself, and what's going to happen, you know, 30, 40 years down the road, and see what is going to happen in your lifetime.